Hi all. Some very sad news for the world of chess. A very strong grandmaster, Vugar Gashimov, died on January 10th, 2014, just a couple of days ago. His peak FIDE rating was above 2750, so he was in the super grandmaster category of chess. Vugar was an IM in 1998, just aged 12 years and 5 months. He became a GM in 2002, aged 15 years and 11 months, so very strong as a junior player. He was born in Baku, the same place as Garry Kasparov, and he learned the game from his father, who was a retired army colonel and a candidate master at the age of 6. He was one of several highly talented young grandmasters from Azerbaijan who came to prominence in world chess in recent years. Ill health, including epilepsy and high blood pressure, dogged him from 2000 onwards, forcing him out of competitive chess after Tatar 2012. Let's have a look at one of his many great games, and I will try and cover some other great games in the upcoming King's Crusher radio show on Tuesday evening, if you want to tune in for that. Against Sergei Tiviakov in a tournament in Italy in 2008, the Torneo di Capodanno Regia Emilia, he played e4 against Sergei, and Sergei didn't play his usual Sicilian dragon, which he's known for, but tried to surprise Vugar with the centre counter or Scandinavian defence. We have e takes d5, queen takes, knight c3, now queen d6, which is the second most popular choice after queen a5. Bit of a surprise weapon of choice. d4, knight f6, knight f3, c6. Now, quite often, I think in this position, also the move a6 is played as well, just I think depriving the knight of b5. Now we have c6 instead, knight e5, which gives some ideas for white, knight bishop f4 to try and harass that queen, but also knight c4 might be useful sometimes. Knight bd7, and indeed we see bishop f4, and now black plays knight d5 attacking the bishop. That's taken, and usually in this position black plays queen takes d5. For example, queen takes d5, and the game can continue like this, for example, where I think white's quite solid, but black should be fairly okay too from this position, this sort of position. Instead, okay, we get knight takes e5, a rarely played move by comparison, and now Vugar plays the very interesting knight e3, allowing black a seemingly handy tactic here against the bishop to play knight d3 check. But this incurs a bit of a loss of time to take this bishop. After queen takes d3, you can see after queen takes f4, white is ahead in development and has a strategic pawn break immediately available to try and open lines against the black king and make things difficult for standard routine development. White plays now d5. The knight's also quite beautifully centralized here. I think black starts to be a bit concerned here and doesn't start playing, rather starts committing some inaccuracies. We'll put on a little kibitzer here. I think best might have been to try and play something like e5 to get this out later maybe, and also bishop d7 might be an idea, or e6. Instead, black ventures with c takes d5, which does open this diagonal, which could be quite dangerous. And we see after queen takes d5 there's an immediate idea, bishop b5 check. So it seems important in this position for black to have played here now a6. If a6, white does enjoy a strong position after castling queenside. Queen c7 say to protect d8, and white is better though here, but this might be stronger than the game continuation. If we go back to the game continuation, in fact black didn't play a6, black played e6 and allowed his king to be kicked around a bit. Bishop b5 check, king e7, queen d2 now threatens, knight d5 check, winning the queen. Black has to react to that. We see queen d6. Now queen e2, and then there's another threat set up. Knight f5 check to win the queen. This check is not very good because I think black is not really threatening anything after c3. So in this position, black tried king f6. Now Vugar plays a check, king e7 and queen e2, seeing if black's going to repeat for a bit. Black does. But now Vugar varies with castling kingside. Although black has the bishop pair, white's already now connected the rooks and is ready to start attacking on full power using the d file or e file. Queen c5 attacking the bishop just drops back here for a moment. g6. Will black be able to develop his pieces at all in this game? This bishop is also a bit of a problem piece because of that b7. Pressure down the d file here. Rook fe1 is played. Looks as though knight d5 check would be a very useful move using the pin on the e6 pawn. Black's really got bad development here even though he has the bishop pair. Bishop g7. Rook ad1, so you can ignoring completely the b2 pawn. White's got such a strong position here. Doesn't matter about b2, but it is taken nevertheless. I'm not sure what really black can do here. This bishop is now hemmed in. d7 is controlled by white. Rook d8 will just end up losing the f7 pawn after a move like rook takes d8. So it's not a pleasant position at all. Black plays bishop takes b2, and we see c3 now. Bishop can't go back and can't take on c3. If bishop takes c3, we have knight d5 check. Just winning that bishop. Queen and knight are on c3. Black plays f5. It's a very difficult position indeed. Rook b1. And here actually, if bishop takes c3, again knight d5 check, winning the bishop, that's out of the question. The bishop has to go to a3. A forcing move now, rook b5. Where is the queen going here? If queen c7, there's knight d5 check. That would be embarrassing, winning the queen to knight d5 check. Black tries queen c6. Now queen g3 eyes a lot of sensitive dark squares like e5, g5, h4 if needed. Very difficult to defend. If the king tries to move here, then just rook takes f5 check will win the queen. So very difficult to suggest any decent move now for black. Black tries bishop d7. Now Vugar crashes through with knight takes f5 check. So if g takes here, which isn't played, but just queen g7 is very, very strong. Just mopping up both rooks potentially. If on king d8 and on king d6, it's not much better off the check here. King c7, rook takes d7. And this is not just winning the queen, but it's mate to follow here after queen takes d7. Bishop c6, mate to follow on b7. So that's pretty hopeless as well. But black's position has a long time been gone here. King d8 was played. And now a very incisive move, rook b4, attacking the queen, putting pressure on d7. All sorts of possibilities now for white to put pressure on d7. We see queen c7, white throws in the check. Now if king e8, then queen e7 is mate. So king c8 is played. Now white plays bishop takes d7 check. This is really crushing. If queen takes d7, then rook c4 check. And that's really unpleasant for black. The queen covering d8 now. On king b8, there's queen g3 check. Just winning the house, knight takes d6 there. So here, black tried queen takes d7. Sorry, pardon me, not black tried king takes d7, which just allows now queen e7 check, and here black resigned. If king c6, white can just crash through with rook takes e6, and then mate to the next move. Whatever happens, king d5, rook d4 would be mate, for example. if king c8 here, then knight d6 check is winning the queen. Queen takes d6 is mandatory. Because if king b8, then rook takes b7 is mating there. So pretty hopeless. It's been hopeless for quite a while though. But it's here, queen e7 check, which black resigned. A crushing win. Vugar playing white against Sergei Tivyakov, who was 2-6-4-3. No easy player in theory, 2-6-4-3, but he made it look a bit easy. And Vugar was 2-6-6-4 at the time of this game. So okay, a few FIDE points higher, but not massively higher, and showed how devastating he can be with the white pieces. A fantastic player that will be greatly missed. Rest in peace, Vugar Gashimov. Comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.